have here, and we already have many of our participants and young friends with us, and I'm sure that more will be joining soon. The occasion is a very small and humble one, but nonetheless hopes to promise beginning to a new orientation, which is like visual arts, music, like music and dance, visual arts, which is the focus of today's event. And the event is about an online exhibition, which has been curated by Sougata Das and Dr. Pinaki Gain under the Academy of Classical and Folk Arts, under the National Cultural Appreciation Courses. So we are extremely thankful to all our eminent guests as well as our students who are here. We have our guest Professor Dhrubajyoti Sen. We have our key resource people, the PI of the center, Professor Aritra Das Cohost. The co-PIs like Professor Joy Sen, Professor Anandru Bhattacharya, and many of the others will be joining very soon. And we look forward to a very short but very meaningful session. And in order to start this session, I will request Professor Aritra Das Cohost to share a few words about the philosophy of this academy and the objective and what we are doing under it, so that we can have a format or a framework within which this program can start. Thank you very much. Over to Professor Das.
Thank you, Priyadarshi, for the wonderful introduction. So this is a very, very pleasant time, and I'm really very happy that this is happening today. We have been talking about setting up an academy or any other body for promoting these performing arts and fine arts among the students for a very long time. And as Professor Joy Sen also knows that when the Shondi initiative was started, then along with the research goals of Shondi, one underlying and very dominant objective was that we should make our next generation, that is the students of IIT Kharagpur, aware of the various types of art and music forms that exist in India, and not only because learning them is like knowing our heritage, but also you really don't get a feel of it unless you experience it yourself, unless you practice it, unless you innovate around that. And that is something that we wanted to do beyond the objective goals of the Shondi research project. And that opportunity came when our alumni came together with us and suggested that why don't we set up an academy of classical and folk arts. And as you know that in the IIT system, we had departments, we had centers, we had schools. We never had an academy. And the difference between a center and a school and an academy is that the academy's main goal is not curricular. It is, of course, curriculum is one part of it, but then we want to reach out not only to the community of the students, but also to the faculty, to the campus residents, to other people outside the IIT system, and bring everything together. One of the main things that we wanted to do through this, and it kind of resonated very well with the national education policy which the government suggested, actually much later than we thought about this, is that in our present system of education, unfortunately, we put the competition between the students as the main dominating form of learning. From your school days, you may have experienced a system where your teachers told that you need to compete with others. When you felt that competition in class 11, 12, my daughter is going through that right now, and it's very unhealthy competition. And then when you get into an IIT or a good college, that gives you a satisfaction, but the competition does not end here. And in this system, we sometimes forget the other form of innovation which happens through collaboration. When you work together with your colleagues, with your fellow students, and achieve something together. Now, see what happened with this NCA was that you people have not met each other. Many of you undergraduates, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, you have never been able to meet each other. But look at how you have come together, collaborated, and brought out this wonderful exhibition. So I think that apart from anything else, the learning experience, the fun that you have had together, this collaboration that you had, that stands above everything else. And I hope that in the future also, you will find this collaboration, the feeling of friendship and bonding between yourselves to be something that you will cherish for a very, very long time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Dasgupta, for a very short but very, very pertinent and wonderful introduction and overview. I must also say that Professor Dasgupta, apart from being the PIC of his center, happens to be professor of computer science, because many of you may not be familiar with the faculty because you are not physically here, as we shared with you. And he is also a person of many talents, a very good musician, a sitarist, and has a wonderful understanding of visual art, and I would rate him as a wonderful critic of visual art. So it's good to have him with us. We are also extremely thankful to have with us as our chief guest, Professor Dhrubajyoti Sen, who is a professor in the Civil Engineering Department and also the Dean of Students Affairs. And he kindly agreed, in spite of right now being moving between Kolkata and Kharagpur, and must have stopped on the way to actually attend this meeting, for kindly agreeing to be the chief guest and share some inspiring words with our students. So over to Professor Dhrubajyoti Sen to share some inspiring words.
Okay. Hello. Good evening. Yes. Thank you, Professor Patnaik, Professor Pallav Dasgupta, for inviting me. And it is good to know that your academy is holding this sort of. It's an online exhibition also. You said, right? You shared some link.
Yes.
In which
Yes.
I saw there are several graphics and visuals, and I think those are contributions by the students. So yeah, it is as Professor Pallav Dasgupta just now mentioned, means even under this COVID, all the students, faculty, they have collaborated in a virtual way, and they have made this possible. So it's really very interesting, and so we look forward to further participation. I think right now there we can see quite a few of them, and I think more would be joining, and more also would be contributing, I hope. So thank you so much, and we wish this means both the exhibition as well as the academy, so great success. So thank you. Yeah, nice to be with you.
Thank you very much, Professor Sen, for your inspiring and kind words. As you rightly pointed out, this is a small beginning, but we look forward to enlarging it in the future and having something on a slightly larger scale, if not very large, in the end of December, towards the end of December. And we are extremely hopeful that even at that point you will be able to again join us.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Professor Sen. Professor Sen also is an artist. I remember a long time back when we were a team at the Nehru Museum, we both went and for our annual calendar, we sketched a few of the buildings, heritage structures. So I remember we both sharing some precious time together, sketching different heritage structures.
Yes,
So,
yes. Thank you for remembering that.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Professor
you.
Sen.
Okay. All the
And
best.
we have with us a number of thank you, Professor Sen, for wishing us good luck. We also have with us a number of other eminent resource persons and faculty members of this institute, who I'm sure are eagerly waiting for the short but meaningful exhibition and the effort by the students. I hope that after the presentation of their work, they will also share a few inspiring words. So now, may I request Sri Sougata Das, who is the curator of this exhibition and who is the resource person for fine arts, to share something about the exhibition, and then I believe the presentation of the artwork can be done after this brief introduction to the exhibition. Over to Sri Das. Professor Das, you need to unmute yourself, please.
Thank you, Priyoda, for your introduction. First of all, I'd like to thank to my heartiest thankfulness to Pandit Ji, Pandit Aritra Chakraborty, who is a mentor of this academy, Professor Pallab Dasgupta, at the same time the director of this institute, Professor Joy Sen, Professor Priyadarshi Patnaik, and all the faculty members and the team members who are working relentlessly for a certain objective that is really overwhelming for me. I've heard one thing, that the humanity enlivens where the brain and heart meets. Yeah, it is really a great endeavor of this institute through this Academy of Fine Arts, okay, this Academy of Classical and Folk Art, where we have really seen that the science and technology, the visual arts, the fine arts, the humanities have all has been tuned together to give a greater dimension and a contribution to the society. And from that very point of view, a curatorial dimension has been established with a great endeavor. Definitely, it is an Institute of Technology, IIT Kharagpur, for establishing the Academy of Classical and Folk Arts, for inculcating the cultural practices along with the technical education among its students. Along with performing arts, the Academy offers courses on visual arts for its students as an extra academic activity. Here, the curatorial focus is from tradition to contemporary journey within. I want to quote the few rather lines of Pablo Picasso, which is very much pertinent to the exhibition. Just every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once you grow up. And these words of Picasso is very much contextual these days, and the fraternity of the IIT has really taken a very deep endeavor, a pursuit, so that to not only to nurture the students, or to nurture within the students only the how to develop themselves very professionally, but to be a good human being. It is for I do have a long association with IIT Kharagpur in various activities, with the illumination program, Rangoli program that used to happen over there, and the induction programs and various activities, with the blessings of Professor Joy Sen, Professor Priyadarshi Patnaik. And from there, It is really a great opportunity for me to deliver my knowledge, what I've gathered, in a curatorial perspective. It is a 4-month long learning process and a creative activity of the students of the first semester of IIT KGP led to a creation of a body of artworks. The images of which are showcased here, okay, that will evidently be uploaded in the website. Okay, and here the exhibition, it's under the title From Tradition to Contemporary, consists of 77 artworks which are displayed with the virtual gallery. It is about the 16 artists have participated in this virtual exhibition. All have been invited, but eventually only the 16 to 17 artists have turned up. Okay, but I am very much hopeful that in the next exhibition, the 100% of the students will participate in this exhibition. The participants are the Akanksha Agarwal, Arthur Bajaj, Edwin Soni, Manitipu Reddy, Egulia, Nitish Kumar, Priyanundi, Rahit Kumar, Rushil Venkateshwar, Sambhuti, Satyam Chaudhuri, Shreya Gupta, Sneha Majumdar, Subhigya Saxena, Swati Kamun, Tejas Khandari, and Yashika Agarwal. I think that I have pronounced their name as expected. Okay. Now, this exhibition has epitomized a grand expression of the individual artist by their own creative pursuit, transforming from the traditional art forms to modern context. The participating artists are well versed with the traditional art forms, whether it is an elitist or folk. Also, they have skillfully rendered the technicalities and styles of the Indian miniature paintings, just to mention over here, the which reflects the understanding about the Indian classical art. All participating artists were able to develop in their individual signature style. It is very important for all of us, okay, to develop that individual, the signature style, and more importantly, that is rooted in Indian traditional art, which is one of the objectives of this academy. Their artworks represent a strong visual language for the sake of artistic expression. They have acquired the skill and the knowledge substantially, and with time, that has manifested in the dynamic artistic expression, which is truly contextual in the contemporary art world, and it has been showcased in this exhibition. I do feel really proud to having such the brilliant artworks to be curated, and so much blessed to have these participants over here. Moreover, I want to add that this endeavor couldn't have been taken that much of success without Professor Patnaik, Professor Joy Sen. Definitely Pallab sir is also been a constant support for us, and more importantly for the day-to-day activity support. It is the co-curator, okay, rather he has done a lot for all of us. It is Professor Dr. Pinaki Gain. It is our research scholar Soham Mollik, okay, who is from the Humanities and Social Science. It is from Priyanka Kwiril, who is also a research scholar from the Department of Architecture, Planning and Architecture, and Nitish Kumar, who is the student of architecture, and he is now in the second year, and that's of the fine arts, Nitish has developed this exhibition, online exhibition, how to showcase it. That has all been done by Nitish. Okay. And I just want to add more about Pinaki Gayan. Okay, about Pinaki Gayan, who is now. At that time, he was just passed his completed his doctoral thesis, and in between, he has been the assistant professor of Kalabhavan Vishwabharati University, Shantiniketan, and he has completed his PhD from Kharagpur IIT and, under the guidance of Professor Priyadarshi Patnaik, who is Dr. Pinaki Gayan. He is a recipient of the Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute of Philosophy, or Fellowship, or Indo-Canadian Institute Fellowship in 2018 and 19. He visited Department of Psychology, University of Toronto, Canada, as a visiting doctoral research fellow over there. Previously, he has completed a bachelor's and master's in visual arts from Government College of Art and Craft and Calcutta, University of Calcutta. And during that tenure, I happens to be visiting professor over there. Additionally, he was awarded as a national scholarship, the Young Artist, by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, and empaneled as a designer at the Ministry of Textiles, Government of India. He has number of credits in his CV. Okay, just my speech will go longer about telling about Pinaki Gayan. But what we all will see in this exhibition are definitely a very pertinent contribution of Dr. Gayan. I am really thankful to all the team members for having their great support in bringing up this exhibition. Thank you, and I request Professor Patnaik to take over the time.
Thank you, Sri Das. We have covered all the members over here, and before we would like to take this, everybody is eagerly waiting to see the visuals. So may I request Nitesh, I think, who is going to make the presentation, to share the paintings and the artwork with all of us.
So much, sir. Good evening, everyone. So I'm sharing my screen to present the artworks.
Good evening, everyone. We at NCA, Academy of Classical and Folk Arts, IIT Kharagpur, welcome you all to the inaugural event of its first fine arts exhibition, From Tradition to Contemporary, an exhibition by the students of fine arts, comprising of varied painting techniques as well as media. It is curated by Sri Sougata Das and assisted by Dr. Pinaki Gayan. Now we would like to take you all through the paintings of the exhibition and would like to introduce you to the artist of this exhibition. Painting titled Confluence of Nature, Watercolor on Paper by Akansha Agarwal, Department of Manufacturing Science and Engineering. Painting titled Foliage, Watercolor on Paper by Dhrubajyoti, Department of Mathematics. Painting titled Layered, Pastel and Ink Pen on Paper by Edwin Somi, Department of Physics. Painting titled The Form and Shapes, Pastel Pen and Ink on Paper by E. Manidepu Reddy, Department of Mechanical Engineering. Painting titled Unorganized Arrangement, Pastel and Ink Pen on Paper by Nitish Kumar, Department of Architecture and Regional Planning. Painting titled I, The Moonlight Night, Watercolor on Paper by Priyanandi, Department of Chemical Engineering. Painting titled The Mask in My Connection, Pastel and Ink Pen on Paper by Rohit Kumar, Department of Mining Engineering. Painting titled The Tribal Dance, Watercolor on Paper by Rushil Venkateshwar, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. The painting is an interpretation of The Great Wave of Kanagawa by Katsushika Hokusai by Sambhuti, Department of Chemical Engineering. The painting titled Recreating Patterns, Watercolor and Ink on Paper by Satyam Chaudhary, Department of Aerospace Engineering. Painting titled Illuminating the World, Watercolor on Paper by Shreya Gupta, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. Painting titled Play with Papers, Collage by Sneha Mazumdar, Department of Chemical Engineering. Painting titled A Smiling Face, Watercolor and Pen and Ink on Paper by Suvigya Saxena, Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering. Painting titled Couple, Watercolor on Paper by Satvika Moon, Department of Architecture and Regional Planning. Painting titled Composition with Patterns, Pastel and Ink on Paper by Khandare Tejas, Department of Mechanical Engineering. Painting titled The Joy of Life, Watercolor on Paper by Yashika Agarwal, Department of Electrical Engineering. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir. Now I will
Thank
sharing
you
the
very much.
website.
Yeah, please
Now I
go
will
ahead.
sharing the website. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So the artwork of all the students have been showcased in a website which URL is fineartsitkgp.com, and this website contains all the exhibitions, all the detailed exhibitions and arts of 77 students, 77 arts of the students. So here we can see there are three tabs. There are three tabs, in which first is the fine arts tab, which will show the homepage. Second is exhibition room. Exhibition room will take us to the exhibition room. There are three exhibition room in the website, and each exhibition room contains around 25 to 26 artworks, in which we can click on any one of them and it will open up. We can see the details and description of that painting, and we can click on next button to go into the next exhibition room. This is exhibition room 2. Then we can click on next to go in exhibition room 3, and finally we can go in the home button. And the most important part of the website is the 3D tool, where we will show the each and every painting of fine arts student who have provided their paintings in a virtual gallery. So for this, at first we will have to click on accept all cookie, and then it will load for a few minutes. It will take a bit second to load, and then after we can start virtual tour. So let me maximize it, and I hope you can see my screen. And then we can click on anywhere on the path, and we can move in the room, see each and every painting. It is just like playing a game and walking in the gallery. All the 77 paintings and artworks have been showcased into the gallery. You can take a look at every one of them by visiting in the gallery. And if there is some issue in walking manually, then there is a guided tour. Like if you click on play button, then a guided tour will start, and we need to just keep on clicking next button, and we will get to see each and every painting here. So this was the guide to the virtual tour, and if someone is unable to play the virtual room due to some network issue, then there is a video containing all the paintings which was in the website, and which was showcased by the student. This video contains a virtual walk throughout the gallery. So this was about the fine arts website, and its link will be provided soon in the chat box. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Nitish, for your untiring, extremely hard work in putting it all together. Our special thanks to you, of course. Before we go on, I would quickly like to share that the link would be provided in the chat box by Nitish after this. And also, we will share it with all our invitees via mail, so that you can actually visit this website. The second point I would like to make is that only 16 or 17 of the paintings were represented in the presentation which was given, because this would encourage everybody to visit the remaining 50 to 60 paintings which have not been shared during this brief inaugural session. We hope that people will actually go and visit those places and go through those paintings. However, I think it gives a glimpse of what Sri Das was talking about, a wide range of styles starting from very traditional to very contemporary are presented here. We got a glimpse of that in 16 paintings. So now we come to the most significant part of our session, where we would request a few of our invitees and invited guests to give their comments. So may I invite Professor Joyson to share his thoughts briefly about this experience of going through the artwork of our students.
Namaskar. I think this is Professor Priyadarshi Patnaik. This is a real delight. I think, as you rightly said, and you said it again and again, this looks like a small day, a small event, a small beginning, a humble beginning. But I think the story of today goes back to the past, and it sort of inspires me to say so many things, but I cannot do that but mention two very important meetings and the contributions of two eminent personalities in the backdrop, which I think Sougata will also enjoy. One is the historic meeting that we had with Madam Rakhi Sarkar of Seema Art Gallery, and in the presence of Sougata sir and Professor Priyadarshi Patnaik. I think if we go back to that day, about 5 or 6 years back, perhaps there is a connection between that day and this day of today, because we discussed something which today has matured. And the other event whose presence I also recall is of renowned artist engineer Sri Arunendu Banerjee, Arunendu Bandyopadhyay, who had always inspired us and told Sougata, me, Priyadarshi, even Pallab, Professor Dasgupta, again and again, Je joy Priyo Tumra Ekdin, one day you try to fulfill the dreams of Tagore and the dreams of other artists of India in IIT Kharagpur. I think today, when I see Nitish, Devaki and others, they are not struggling, but they are just moving on with ananda, with delight, to create this website so well. And what a beautiful work. Each and every painting that I saw, it gave me an inspiration. It gave me some goose pimples, because I could see the unfolding of a future which looks very small today. It looks very humble today, as Priyo had said twice in his speech. But one day it will lead to something which was highlighted by Professor Dasgupta when he referred so realistically to his own daughter, the days of competition and the split between the analytical world and the intuitive artistic world, which everybody suffers. That quotation of Pablo Picasso, every child is born as an artist, but no one knows what will happen to them when they grow up. So I think I'll end here, and I'd like to say that this wonderful effort by Professor Patnaik and his excellent team, I know Pinaki very well because I have been a part of all his journeys in some form or other, which I don't want to disclose here. And, Sougata, Pinaki, Nitish, I can say hierarchy, a very senior person, a person who has just become a senior, and a person who will become a senior in the days to come. So there is a hierarchy, there is a continuity. So I'll end here, and I seek the blessings of all the people I mentioned, and also of Pandit Ajay Chakraborty, whose blessings are also there. There's also a similar incident when I met Panditji about 5 or 6 years back in an airport, and then the whole thing turned. And he said something has to be done at IIT Kharagpur. Then the whole connection started. But all that is small and little stories, they are like a painting in the journey of time, past, present, and future. Purba Uttar, Uttar Purba, so past to future and future to past. So excellent, and kudos to Professor Sougata Das and his great effort. A very simple man, a very humble man, a man who remains in the background, a man with enormous talent, because even one of my student, Tanima, is one of the excellent students I've got in my life. Tanima is right now an assistant professor at VIT Vellore, and she's doing very well at the Department of Architecture. So all the great students which Sougata had introduced me, Pinaki, Shadhana is in IIT Kanpur, and now she's working somewhere else. She has got a PhD. So I think, Sougata, all the flowers that you had offered to us, they have all bloomed in IIT Kharagpur. I don't know what we have done to them, and I think the flower, the tree that you have sown today in the form of this exhibition will lead to many more flowers blooming in the very near future. And it won't stop there. It will also lead to the fruits and the seed, which will lead to the next event and the next tree and the next tree in the garden. So the life goes on. In the words of Tagore, Torongo milaye jaye, Torongo othe, Kushumo jhoriya pore, Kushumo pothe. So nothing ends. Everything is immortal. The life principle is continuous. That is the mystery of creation. Waves collapse, but new waves resurge again. Flowers die, but new flowers are born today. So what we have seen today, I like to see everybody opening up their video at least for a few seconds, and I like to see all the flowers who has been blooming in the Academy of Classical and Folk Arts. Can we do that? If it's not a huge problem, let's see, let's see all the faces just for a few seconds. If there is a Manideep, Gauri is there. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, it's so nice. Aritra, I know Nitish very well because he is from our coterie and he's very close to us and he's a pride of our department. Priyanka, maybe 2 more seconds. Can you open up your videos? In whatever dress you are, in whatever background you have. Yeah, great, great. So I can see the flowers blooming. So this is a canvas, right itself, where you can see the flowers blooming. And I think we should give a big hand to Professor Patnaik and his team. A big hand to Professor Patnaik and his team who has made this dream come true. And I feel very inspired. And I go back to those 2 days when I met Orunanduda and Rakhidi. And I think their dreams are coming true through IIT Kharagpur. So with these little words, I like to end my whatever to this wonderful day. Thank you so much, Priyo. It's a delight, a great delight.
Thank you very much, Professor Sen. And for those of you who are not familiar with Professor Joy Sen, he is a professor at the Department of Architecture and Regional Planning, a very old friend, currently the chairman of the Center for Indian Knowledge Systems, and also obviously a part of this academy, and a very competent musician. He's a sitarist as well as a visual artist. So wonderful to have him share his insights. We have with us some of our other resource persons like Sri Aritra Chakraborty. It's wonderful that he has joined us. Thank you very much, Aritra. And we would like to hear a few words from Devaki, who also is our VP and has joined us and has been constantly encouraging our students. So it would be nice to hear a few words from Devaki if it's possible. Devaki, can you unmute? Diganta, can you unmute Devaki? You may be muted. Can you please? Okay, that would be. So, yes, we are not able to hear you, Devaki. For whatever reason, the audio is not coming through to us. So maybe you can use the chat box and I will read it out. Whatever few words you have to say, because now if leaving and again joining might delay the entire process. So you could just type in your thoughts and I'll read it out to the others. There is only one person. If Aritra sir would share a few observations, that would be wonderful. So, Diganta, again, I'll request, yes, if you can unmute Aritra sir. Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Good evening, everyone. I just I joined a few minutes later, a few minutes before. I've been there with you guys from the beginning of the meeting, but I was not being able to hear everyone because I was in a very crowded place at some time. But I was very privileged to see the arts and the works done by everyone over here. I was so amazing to see everyone doing so well. So it's a privilege for every one of us to be a part of ACFA. So I'm very, very grateful to every one of you, Guruji, Pallab sir, Anandrup sir, to choose me to be a part of this wonderful family. And it was a privilege to see everyone and everyone's work over here. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Aritra ji. I will just read out whatever we have got from Professor Anandru Bhattacharya, who had to leave early. I have to take off now. It was a delight to view the creation of our talented young students. KGP ka tempo high hai. Thank you very much, Anandru, though you are not here. Thank you very much. We are still waiting for Dhrubajyoti to use the chat box if he has to say a few words. That would be wonderful. But there are a few other people who I would like to thank as we close this session. I would like to specially thank on behalf of our entire team, Dr. Arnav Hajra, who has stood like a pillar in taking care of all the technical issues, coordinating and ensuring that web page and other things are taken care of. And he himself happens to be also a photographer and visual artist, so very much a part of our team with long association with almost all of us. Thank you, Dr. Hajra. I would like to also thank one of our young MS scholars, Diganta, who has taken care of the WebEx, who has taken care of coordinating all these activities and anchoring the entire thing in terms of the background anchoring, I must say, recording and everything. So thanks to you, Diganta, as well. I'm sure that Devaki is not able to connect with us right now, but I would just simply like to share that she was extremely happy when we informed her, and she's also written to all of us that tutors everyone, this looks awesome. I think these few words tell us everything there is to tell from her perspective. We look forward to more such events, especially thanks to Professor Pallab Das Gupta. We're looking forward to even some special guest talks and workshops by eminent visual artists in the future. And we hope the small thing that we have started, small event that we have started, will lead to something slightly bigger and then slightly bigger and something meaningful. Thank you everybody for giving us an opportunity to share whatever little that we have been able to do. Special thanks to everybody right now. And with these few words, we will close this. Yes. Thank you and happy puja to all of you.